everybody, and welcome to another episode of Three Dads and a Console. We know not every dad can stay up to date on the latest and greatest in video game news that you need to know about, so we are here to do it for you. And remember that this show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. On with the show, I'm one of your hosts, Wobble Plays, alongside the borderline offensive Pez.
Hello, that is the nicest thing anyone has said about me. I appreciate it.
When I was saying the earmuffs line, I don't know what you were mouthing at youtube.com/Three Dads and a Console.
Can't say.
But I bet it wasn't good.
It was not. You would need earmuffs if I was to say it. Before we start, can I give a shout out to our northern brethren? Happy belated Canada Day, Canada.
Happy Canada Day. And
continue.
And to our friends in the UK, happy Get Wrecked Day tomorrow.
Woo! If you're listening to this on Thursday, July 4th, you already lost.
What
are you doing? What are you gonna say?
We have listenership in England. Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe we have listenership. Period.
Especially in Australia, because every time we're like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, we get high British ones because we make fun of Australian accents.
They're like, "Get him, chaps!"
Oi, lads, let's go, lads.
Come on now, give it to him.
Someone get me the toasted bagel, Ray. Give me the black pudding.
Imagine people from Boston poking fun at any other literally any other accent.
I can because I do it all the time.
Oh god, I mean, this state, it's like they have like peanut butter in their mouth.
Yeah, it's like,
if you're sorry.
Yeah, if you're from Massachusetts, scrub the peanut butter out of your mouth.
So we're already off the rails. It is now 8:01.
It's because Court is not with us. Court is at his daughter's first concert. They are seeing the Wiggles. No, I'm kidding. We almost got a Wappa spit take.
That's really fun. I didn't expect that at all. Oh my god.
I don't even know who they're seeing. He said it a bunch of times, and I don't think I've ever heard any of their songs.
It was on Twitter, but it's cool because it says he's at the venue that he saw his first concert, which was do you know?
Bare Naked Ladies.
Yep. Really cool.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken.
Wilco.
Wilco.
I've not heard their music, but I typically like the things he recommends. So
what was your first concert ever?
Oh my gosh, dude. I was not a big concert goer. I think my first actual one was probably Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
How old were you?
Who does the rock Christmas music? I was like maybe 8 to 10. Maybe 8 to 12. I know that's a big age range, but like my family wasn't big into concerts. I mean, I saw the Pops. I don't count. I was probably younger. I went to Radio City Music Hall as a kid. So like that's but like my first band I remember, and I got to see them when I was older, which was cool. And I didn't understand it because I thought like the name confused me as a kid. I thought they were from Siberia. And I didn't know what to expect. So when you go up there and there's like a guy with long blonde hair, rocker with a guitar, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But I've actually been going a lot more now. I went to see Miku, which was a bop. I actually want to take my daughter next year. I'm going to see Blink 182 this month again for the second time in a year.
At the Fens?
No, I can't stand Fenway as a venue. Having seen the Winter Classic there, great experience. So I'm going in Connecticut.
Oh, gotcha.
Because it's a better venue in my opinion. And then next month I'm going to go see Porter Robinson, who makes a lot of electric type music. So
cool.
I'm getting into it. I want to see for the two weebs, Yoasobi. They're a Japanese duo. Really good music. I play it on my stream all the time. Their concert just went live. But what about you? What was your first?
So my first parental concert. And only parental. No, that's not true. Actually, my parents and I have been to a bunch of concerts. My first parental concert, I was about 10 or 11. Dude, Winona Judd in Brooks and Dunn. We were boot scooting boogieing like none other. boat scoot.
Did they dress you up as a cowboy?
No. It was at the Tweeter Center, and it was like August because I just remember
Tweeter Center. Oh my
really
gosh,
hot.
pour it out for Tweeter.
Yeah, what is it now? Like the Xfinity Fun Zone or something?
Yeah, in Mansfield.
Yeah,
the
Great
the
Woods
Xfinity toilet bowl.
the toilet bowl. Great Woods, Tweeter Center, whatever it is now. And then my first non-parent, my first non-parent concert, 1999. That's not true. 2000. Eminem. Limp Bizkit.
Rocking the set.
Papa Roach.
Stop.
Those three in concert. It was either 99. I think it was 99. And it went in order. It went Eminem opened. That's like when My Name Is in the Slim Shady LP like just came out. He opened, and then it went Papa Roach, and then it went Limp Bizkit.
That's okay. I thought you said Papa Roach was gonna be like the main. It's like
no.
That's what everybody just leaves to beat the traffic.
Limp Bizkit, dude, with the it was not significant. A $3 bill, y'all, with Faith. It's stuck. Boom, boom.
That's wild. Yeah, I never. Just my family. They weren't big into music, and I also I feel like I didn't understand the concept of being able to actually just buy a ticket and go. You know, like it's like how do I do? It's like it's way easier now, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I mean they suck, but like I don't know. It just wasn't a thing. I mean I went to like a whole bunch of other things, like to like the Wang Theater, but for like like plays.
Yeah,
like
musicals. Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, Phantom saw a bunch.
Of the Opera
like King and I, all this stuff. I saw that's
King
like
Lear.
Kind of no,
my I've only seen when like my parents. I've only seen Phantom of the Opera, but when my my wife and I started dating, we went to the opera house a lot.
Oh,
we are, despite my look and how I sound and how I act, I'm quite cultured when it comes to
very impressed by that.
The theatrical arts. Actually, for Mother's Day last year, because I know how much she loves going to the theater, I got her season passes for the opera house.
That's a good gift. Look at you.
Well, I know her favorite musical is Les Mis. And Les Mis is playing, and I was like, I have to get you tickets. So the only way to get tickets without paying through the nose was to get season passes. So we've seen a bunch of shows there. Like if you have the chance to go see Beetlejuice, go see it. It's incredible. Laughed the whole time. Wicked is very good. We've seen Wicked twice. I'm sure everyone has seen Wicked. I feel like everyone has. We saw
Hamilton was the big thing that everybody saw.
I took her to see Hamilton, and she hated it. She did, and I loved it.
She must hate 4th of July then.
Well, she was just like, there was a lot, like, because have you seen it? Even like the movie, like there's just like a lot going on. So she's like, I don't know who to watch. I didn't listen before because I was like, dude, it's hip hop, like rap. You should probably listen to it a few times. She was like, nah, it'll be fine. And
she's just rooting for the British the whole time, and it just didn't work out.
She was like, let's go England, beans on toast, and it's called football.
Ugh. Hate that. We're so one thing I've been looking out for future, trip down to the Mouse. They have like a stage there, and I saw some of the names, and I like fell over my chair. We're gonna be there. So first on October,
Selena Gomez.
No, you have Aloe Black, who I have Joey Fatone and friends.
What?
So not all of them, just Joey Fatone and his friends.
It's like, this is my friend Bustin, and this is my other friend
Billy Bungus,
Blance Blaze.
We have We the King, Switchfoot, David Archuleta. I know. We were mad. Is that them?
Yeah.
So much more.
Oh, yeah, Switchfoot, which I didn't understand. I only found out later. It was Christian rock. They're a Christian rock band.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I mean, they know Creed, but speaking of concerts, who I'm going to see live in concert? I'm going Creed and Three Doors Down in August, and I'm going to see Metallica in August.
That's awesome.
Metallica's on my gotta see them before they die list.
Before they do. Fair.
Yeah, 100%. All right, David Archuleta.
Billy Ocean, Hanson, Boys to Men, one of my first CDs for whatever reason. I didn't even listen, like, I don't know.
Boys to Men.
Smash Mouth is gonna be there. I don't understand how. Because isn't the singer not with us?
Is he dead?
I think he is.
The singer of Smash Mouth dead? What a podcast we have going on today. Good lord.
Yes. Wait, is he? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he's dead. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. 98 degrees. But like it's what? Oh yeah. But last time we were there, like I think a Koopa Stank was there. I was like,
oh my gosh. Crawling in the dark. What a banger. The other stupid one that they put out that everybody loved. Horrible.
It's just like I remember like walking around, like like when you go places and you hear like covers of like songs like your parents used to listen to, or like you go to like a restaurant and the piano's player is playing like Nana's old tunes.
Of course.
That's that, but now my
For
music
us, yeah.
and our music.
Yep.
So now all the kids are walking around being like, who are these old people singing? And then you have
olds?
us like, we were meant to live for so much more.
Not Smash Mouth, Switchfoot will play it to silence until they end their set in that song. They're gonna begin and end in their set in that song.
It's so wild though, because like they don't have these bands don't have a lot, and for them to just be there, they're basically just background music.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me, but I'm happy they're there.
The more I think about it, I'm surprised there's not like Lighthouse in there.
Waiting for like Yellow Card.
Yeah. No, they broke up forever. They're not coming back.
But it's all like the songs. Like the songs is like I'm like an angsty kid.
Yeah.
And like now we're all like not kids, but we're still a little.
We're just angsty.
So yeah, that's our music minute. Thank you for joining us.
You know who has been real angsty? Xbox gamers. Woo! How you like that for a transition?
Dude, they are getting wrecked.
Good,
right
they
now.
should. For those that don't know, Xbox yesterday had like a 4 to 6 hour outage. Which like I know PlayStation users in shambles because 15 years ago they had to wait 8 months for a PSN outage.
Yeah, the PSN outage lasted so long it killed Zipper and SOCOM. Like straight up, one of my favorite studios. It comes out and then the PSN just goes down, and like you don't get to play.
Yep.
And then they just go out of business because they're like, well,
bye.
Sales aren't good.
Nope. No sales.
So I think 6 hours. I mean, this must be really tough on them.
But the problem people are now running into is if Xbox servers go down, you cannot play games. So offline games like Minecraft were not working.
That's wild.
And I think it's really, now this is going to be a very one-sided conversation, but I think it really highlights the need to have physical games again.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean, I know them. I'm sure the readers know them, but tell us about them.
I've been pushing physical games for a while. Typically anything that I like for reals, is something I buy a physical copy of, either, when it comes out, one, to support the developer, or two, after the fact. Like I'm going to be getting a copy of like Space for the Unbound because, it's if it's a game you like, it's a game you like.
Right.
But I remember like it's wild to me that it's like required. I remember like complaining about this when I played like Call of Duty Cold War or whatever, and it was like, well, you can't play single player until you download this whole patch for a mode that you're not going to play, and it's
right.
It's changing the it's if you buy the game, it's not like you're leasing it. If you are leasing it, you are part of the you're playing on the subscription service. And the issue with Microsoft, in my is they put a lot of their games on that subscription service on Game Pass. So now you are just SOL if something happens. You don't really have the option to play it on your own or to play it without their servers. And also too, if it is a game that you were they bought it or they bought the studio, so it's like tethered to it because they want everything integrated. And that's kind of the downside. And it not only brings up the discussion about physical games, but also about emulation.
Right.
Because eventually, shout out Xbox 360 store, these things are going to go down and you won't be able to play it anymore. And if you can't find a physical disc, you don't get to enjoy that copy. And emulation becomes more of a subject, and while some people might call it pirating, other people call it preservation, and I don't think those two people are ever going to get along.
Well, you know what I actually didn't realize before last night is if Xbox has an outage, like people on the PS5 could not play Sea of Thieves or Fallout 76 or Grounded or any of that stuff. So I think it also goes to show like our dependency on the online structure to just play these games that you purchased. And because like we're not talking about you go and you buy Persona 5 for the PS5 or PS4, and it's like if that goes down, I pop my disc in, I can still play.
Yeah.
But like 90% of gamers now don't do physical media, and I think it's a problem. Because here's the thing, like if it wasn't for emulation, if every ice hockey NES cartridge so all of a sudden got burnt out, you're never playing that game ever again because it's gone. It's gone. And the same goes for, you know, when Nintendo shuts down their stores, when Xbox shuts down their stores, when the PS3 store is gone, like those PS3 exclusives, maybe even some really hard to find exclusives are gone forever. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have them, like that's it. It's a wrap. Wrap it up.
And like I find that like because when I buy a lot of video games, it comes to the decision of do I sell it or do I keep it? And there's been a handful of games that I look at and I'm like, I'm keeping this. Like, yeah, it's gonna hurt my margins or whatever, but like, who the hell knows?
Right.
Like literally nobody knows. Especially when it comes to Nintendo too. You just never know. I mean, are they going to re-release it or are you never going to see it again?
Right.
And I'm not going to bet on them.
No, you can't because they seemingly do that a lot, especially when it comes to shutting down stores. Like they shut down the 3DS store or something. It's like it's the most popular handheld that's not a Nintendo Switch that people still use.
It makes no sense.
Like, we're just gonna shut it down because screw you guys. And if you emulate it, then we're gonna sue you. So
it's wild to me too, because like, why would you shut down a store when the only okay, so now the two options now are to emulate it, which you don't see a dime, or buy it secondhand, which you don't see a dime.
Right.
At least with keeping the store open. And I know there's a lot of resources. Maybe again, there's a lot of like infrastructure and like costs and like management things that like aren't considered. But like, if you see the attach rate is still really high, like why wouldn't you just keep it open or at least only host like a certain amount of games? Like,
yeah,
okay, all that like bungus shovelware, like okay, get rid of that. Like here's like people want to play like I don't know Zelda, Mario,
Mario Land 3D,
the classics.
Zelda, yeah.
But instead, they're going to shut it down. They're going to re-release it, and they're going to put it on their new thing and make you pay $60. So actually, that's probably why they do it.
And it kind of sucks because like my friends and I yesterday were like, oh, all day we're very much into the Sea of Thieves. All day at work, we were just texting each other, the group chat, like, oh, what are we gonna do tonight? Blah blah blah. No Sea of Thieves last night.
A pirateless evening.
A pirateless evening. I mean, it wasn't all bad. I finally watched Godzilla -1, which is incredible, and I will gush about it. But it does suck that like your options to go physical are like severely limited, and it's either you have to pay for the physical CD, which just unlocks the game on the console, or you have to like go to a limited run or a special games reserve and pay kind of a lot for a physical copy of a game.
Yep. And what's worse is that there are some companies who are doing like a collector's edition or physical edition. You open it up and there's nothing in the case except a code.
Right.
And that's what scares me because now they're forcing you.
The Fallout 76 model of the Bicentennial Super Edition, and you got all this garbage with it, but you'll never be able to play the game if Bethesda just goes, we're going to shut these servers down.
Yeah.
Nuts to you guys, figure it out.
Yeah. People, I think there should be a choice. I don't like the idea of like leasing your games essentially. Like once you're, I mean, it's a little different, but like, imagine all like the digital games that you buy. And yes, it's easy to do it. And I'm not saying don't. I do, frequently. But like if you had those discs anyway, trade them in. You could keep them. You could, pass them down. Like, like I have a lot of my old titles that like me and my daughter get to play like now. Like
right.
It's cool. We're not going to get that.
Nope.
with these newer games. But also too, I feel like, each generation, there's not that like, I mean, yes, when I say there's not that like big game you want to pass down, because obviously there is like, like Last of Us is a perfect example in my opinion. But like everything just gets re-released. Where like you're not just gonna have that like experience on that platform anymore.
Right.
It's like once we hit PS3, we started to get everything like again and again, and now we're seeing like even like was it 1,000 Year Door Paper Mario came out.
Yeah.
By the way, tanked the price of the GameCube. Get wrecked.
How dare you?
I got it at like 110.
Yeah, you got out.
Let's go.
You got out early.
That one game paid for, never mind. But
nice.
Paid for that whole ordeal, and then some. But yeah, it's interesting, and like like PS2, you didn't see that. You didn't see like a lot of remakes of PS1 games.
No.
And now you won't be, the remake you buy won't even be physical. So
right.
I don't like it. I don't like
it either. As a collector, not really a collector, but someone who has a good amount of physical games, I'm like, come on, man. How did we get away from this? How did we get away?
There's one that I always default to, and I played it from Redbox, so like I borrowed it anyway, but it was called Brink, and it was like supposed to be like this like parkour shooter where you had like 3 different classes, and like obviously this tiny one would like parkour more, but like they shut the server down, just like they do with all the other games, and it's like you can't play it. And so now like Best Buy is just trying to unload like all these unopened copies for like $2.
Yep.
And whenever I go to like a yard sale and I see one, people are like, oh yeah, $5 each, and I'm like, dude, this game doesn't play.
Yeah, you can't.
Like you can't play it. Or like anytime I see like SOCOM, it's like, dude, you're literally Battleborn. You're literally selling a game that you put the disc in and nothing happens.
Right. Battleborn.
What
a mess.
Yeah.
What a mess.
In 5 years, oh man, I bought this Overwatch disc. Actually, that too, Overwatch. People sell Overwatch disc for $10. The game is free, my brother. I still have my Overwatch disc. Oh, I'm not saying don't. I mean, I got the Overwatch code right here with all the digital goodies, but
give me that Mercy skin, son. I actually did find a couple old games, sitting in a CD case that we had. I thought we had movies in. Stupid ones. Overwatch, Lego Avengers, Monster Hunter World. Went to put it in because I had $600 on a save. It's gone. And it's my fault. And Overwatch. No, I already said that. Song of the Deep. Song of the Deep is a game that was published by GameStop.
Stop, you're right. Oh my,
I bought it for $20. I bought it for $20. Played it on my PS4. Pretty good game. And I was like, oh man, I should play this again. I should put this back in and play it again.
How it goes. And that's what's nice about it too. But you just get to like stumble upon stuff, try it out for a little bit. I was playing God, what was it? I'd never played it before. Like Republic Commando. I tested out the Star Wars game. Like the Jedi, like this, like I don't know, Knights of the Old Republic. Like I never tried, but I'm like testing all these games, and I'm like, man, like you can't, if you don't have this, you don't get to play it. So,
right.
More options, good. If you disagree,
go
let us know in the comments below.
Go kick rocks after letting us know in the comments. You digital only scab. Speaking of digital only, I watched a kaiju movie on Netflix because I do not own it physically.
Man, we need to preserve our media.
Anyway, listen to this movie I watched on streaming services. It was lovely.
Yeah, you were messaging us about it, so that you must have
Godzilla. So I am when I was young, I was a big like Godzilla fan. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, this is stupid, and got away from it and realized how wrong I truly am. And like when I was young, my parents were divorced when I was 3, and I'd go to my father's house. I would say like 6 or 7. And he would put on like the Saturday afternoon monster movie because he used to watch football. And when I was like little, I hated football because because I didn't understand it. When I was like 6, I was like, oh, football. This is stupid, Dad. This is all you watch. You know, whatever.
Little did you know.
34 years later, here we are. But I used to watch like Toho Godzilla and like Mothra and like I was like, these movies are the best. Newer Godzilla movies suck. The 99 one with Matthew Broderick, horrible. Horrible. Saw it in the movie theater, was so disappointed. Maybe it was like 96, I forget. Somewhere in that late 90s era. You had like the Godzilla King of the Monsters, your Godzilla vs. Kong, your King Kong. All those movies stink. And the reason they stink is because they try to force feed you a human story you don't care about. People want to watch these movies because they want to watch monsters knock buildings over.
True.
And step on people and do cool like power moves with like breath weapons and stuff like that. This freaking movie made me care about the people's story. It was so good. The human element of it is fantastic. It is natively in Japanese. It's made by Toho, who created the Godzilla franchise. Native in Japanese, American English subtitles. If you watch it any other way, don't bother. We're a sub not dub team over here. Sub not dub.
Let's go.
The human story was so good. It was so good. It was so like gripping, and it, you know, without like giving everything away, it takes place at the tail end of World War II. And it's obviously in Japan. And this like kamikaze pilot, he gets scared to actually do his job, and he goes to an island where they will work on kamikaze planes, and he lies to him, and he's like, oh, there was something wrong with my plane, I couldn't do it. And as they're like arguing that he's a coward, like Godzilla attacks this small island and basically gives him PTSD. And that's like a big theme throughout the movie, is not only is it a PTSD about World War II, but he has PTSD about this monster because it takes place over years. It's like, you know, a 4-year timeline by the end of the movie, or 6 years, or something like that. And so you care about that. And then how they really like portrayed Godzilla is incredible. And I drew a lot of comparisons from Jaws, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, about how the monster is very intimidating, and they make it, unlike scary movies now where it's like you'll see the alien here and there, and then halfway through it's like right in your face, and you're like, oh my god, the tension is better than the actual monster itself. 10 minutes into the movie, Godzilla is smashing down this village and ripping people apart and throwing them into the ocean, but it makes him fierce and terrifying. And they do a real good job making scenes very tense. The music's great. The story was very good, and it was just like you like going back to Jaws, like Captain Brody, like the shark haunted Captain Brody like his whole life. Captain Brody. His whole life, and it plays through to the first movie, the second movie. Not the third movie, because they're in SeaWorld, which is like, are you for real? SeaWorld? And in the fourth movie, it like haunts his family because Roy Schneider, he either died or just didn't come back. I think he's still alive. He just didn't come back to do the movie. Which I wouldn't either. Jaws 4, are you kidding me? Jaws 4? Come on now. But in this Godzilla movie, like him and this monster are tied together, and the monster kind of like haunts him because as he like it attacks, you know, his home village where he is, and then he's in a city and it attacks a city, and it seems like it's like stalking him and trying to like ruin his life. And it was like 2.5 hours of just thrilling, engaging cinema that I didn't expect, and I am all in.
I saw a lot of people surprised by how good it was, just because the other ones have been fine.
Yeah,
you know, not great, just fine.
Yeah.
I think the most recent one I thought it was fine. My brother-in-law, huge Godzilla fan, and I think he actually saw it in theater, but like a lot of people were like, this is the one I need to go see in theater, and like they're hype beyond belief by how good it was.
The amount of times I sat in this office by myself watching this movie last night and went, what? Are you kidding me? Like, my wife texted me, she's like, what are you doing up there? I was like, oh, I'm watching Godzilla. She was like, No way, no shot.
Yeah, I'm not a big Godzilla fan, but like because I never watched it a lot growing up, but hearing about this movie, like this is definitely one of the movies where I'm like, this is next. I wish I had seen it in theaters, given the reaction, because like with like the the subwoofers they got in there, it just seems like that type of experience. But
so all my kaiju fans out there, do take a couple hours and watch it. It's great.
I'm also very proud that you went to. It's a subtitled movie. I think more need to do that.
I know. So the reason I watched it by myself is my wife hates subtitles. Because I was like, oh, we because I have all these dumb hobbies, we try to schedule days that we hang out together. Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, every other Monday when it's not D&D. And it's always like, well, what do you want to do? Like Thursday is just like hang out at home, watch TV. Saturday we try and go out and do something. And I was like, oh, Godzilla's -1 is on Netflix. She's like, oh, we can watch that. I don't care. And I was like, you're not going to like it. It's a subtitle movie. And she went, pass. So that's why I watched it by myself, because she's like, I'm watching a movie. I don't want to read. And I was like, well, then I'm not watching it with you. Go away.
I mean, I have subtitles on for everything. Like whenever like Amazon and like when I use HBO, I use subtitles. I bought a soundbar at a yard sale that I need to test. It has a subwoofer. I'm selling a subwoofer, but not because it's like maybe I don't know. I'm not losing my hearing yet, but I just prefer it sometimes because you can't always hear what they say, like just any actors. But especially when it comes to like Japanese, I feel like I'm not, how do I put this? When I say this, I'm not discrediting any of the ability of any of the English voice actors, but I prefer the emotion that you get from the original cast.
Correct. I do too.
The only time I don't is when it comes to Atlas, because they're exceptional. And I'm talking like even like nerds, like FM, like Full Metal Alchemist, where what's his name? Troy Baker was one of the characters. Like it's not like especially early on, Lawyer Bailey. Like early anime, there's like a like what is it, like 2010s anime had all the good people that do video games now.
Right.
And that you can't book for these anymore. Like that's kind of how they got their like and
that's how they got their VA credits.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that's how you get like your early like. And I'm not saying anyone who does an anime game. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying I'm going by Persona pretty much only right now in this example. But like you have people that did that, and then they went on to do like Last of Us, and now you can't get them easily, which is fine. That's how you should progress in your career. But but I prefer the Japanese. I think it's great. I only watch like anime and subtitle, and even to the point where now, even if it's not Japanese, Netflix had a lot of good. I don't know where they originated. I believe they're in Spanish. What's it? The platform, the one on Netflix where like the food comes out. It even might be in Portuguese, and I apologize for getting that wrong. But like something is lost trying to fit a different language's words and cadence.
Yeah, I agree.
Into a set amount of time. Sometimes, not all the time. And also too, it's distracting for me when it doesn't match. And it's not anyone's. It's just preference.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm a big sub not dub person. I just think again, you get when you dub it, it's hard to capture the emotion of the original. And for me, as a visual media, when the words and the cadences aren't matching, it is distracting, which is why people would make fun of old Godzilla movies, because the English dubs were so bad that it was almost like, they'd be the, oh my God, it's Godzilla, right? Like, it's just like, it just doesn't hit the same as it does just hearing the inflections and seeing, your actor's face and hearing the cadences and the emotion behind it in their native language and reading it. Like, I watched that 2.5 hour movie and I was never like, oh, actually, what are they actually saying? Because you can hear the tone in their voice as you're reading it.
Yeah. I feel what is it like? I know like especially like early on, I think a lot of people like get influenced by like what they watch as kids. Now I didn't start watching like foreign media until I was like older, like high school. A lot of people growing up on Dragon Ball Z who were probably listening to this and being like, "What are you talking about? English voice cast OP." Okay, let's not get it twisted. All right, Dragon Ball Z, it belong. That is something I watch. Dubbed. If I do, like, let's not get it twisted. But yeah, if you're wondering about what Pez is saying, if everyone knows Speed Racer. That's kind of, in my opinion, where that meme comes from, where like they finish talking and then the person just keeps like yapping.
Yep.
But that's
that's what bad dubbing does, because it takes you out of it, and you're just like, this is stupid. I'm gonna basically meme on it, and learn to love. In like, there was some Netflix like horror show that was in German that my wife really liked, and she actually subbed it and not dub it, because she tried the dub and she was like, the dubbing is so bad, it takes me out of it.
Yeah. It's interesting because I see a lot of like those films on TikTok, and sometimes they do like the English voices, and I'll go and watch it in like native language. But no, yeah, it's glad we're on the same page. But I'm sure there's people out there disagreeing. You're allowed to, but just know that. Oh, never mind.
Just know you dubbing scab, that you in the digital only buyers are the worst.
Oh man. So I know you've been watching some movies. I haven't been playing many games yet. I'm gonna be getting into Gigantosaurus. I have it loaded up on the Switch, which I'm like really excited to try out. Shout out Outright. So I'll be able to give my impression soon, because that's like, from what I've seen from like the trailers and like just gameplay. I tried not to like spoil a lot of it. Not that it's like story heavy, but like that's gonna be a game that's gonna be just fun. Like, get in, bite size, get out. So that's like hopefully gonna be weekend plans. I've been doing a lot with collecting, as it were, mostly of sports cards and whatnot. So this weekend, in addition to finding a weird lava lamp and having it sell within 24 hours for 60, bought it for 7. Let's go.
Shout out lava lamps.
Yeah, shout out lava lamps. I've been buying up every Bruins rookie I can find within a reasonable price, because I am hopeful that they do well. You got 2 Johnny Beechers right here, young guns. You got Patra, another one, and I got 2 Lorais just in the wings. But I did send some to get graded, my favorite activity, because you guys know how I feel about grading, but it's just exciting when it comes back. It's like you get to open it again, but now you know.
It's like a valuable Christmas present.
Exactly. And I'm just trying to find the picture I took of which ones. I can probably remember, but I
remember.
Said 5.
Connor Bedard.
My Bedard, which, if that doesn't come back at 10, I'm going to be
just recrack it and send it back. Charlie McAvoy.
They're going to charge me extra. You know that, right? For Bedard.
Really?
It's not $20.
Why?
Because the value is
because
so
it's
high.
A Bedard. So, interesting.
Pretty much. If the value is above, I think either 500 or 700, you have to pay extra. And I think the extra is, I think it might be 75 total. But what happens is they're going to bill the card shop, and the card shop will send me an invoice, which I know going into it. So I don't mind.
I didn't know. That's mind. Interesting. That very interesting.
A lot of people were surprised, but like, because you can't just, if you have a 12,000, these, by the way, cardboard paper, like, it's really expensive, some of this stuff. Like $12,000 for a card, they're not going to grade it for $20.
True.
If you want a valuable card graded, you're going to pay up for it, because
because that's how they what are you going to do? Just not get it graded?
And exactly. Especially if you want to sell it.
Right. Especially with PSA, who is like the place to go to.
Exactly. But Bedard is in there. McAvoy that I got at the Card Expo that I showed you guys last week or something, that's going. I don't know what it's going to come back as, because I didn't handle it. I just like him.
Jeremy Swayman.
Not this time.
Gotcha.
Reggie, Swayman's not back yet. He's coming back. I got.
He's
Swayman,
already out.
But a Swayman that I pull.
The canvas.
I don't know if I pulled him. The canvas came back at 10, and then I got his young gun I sent off. That's coming. Bought. That's the earlier batch.
Yeah.
I found in my Nomar lunchbox my Reggie Miller autographed card. And this was one. So these were in cases. And I can show them here at youtube.com/these in a console. That you have to put a screw in.
Yeah, this
is where
legit.
This lived. for, I don't know, since I was in like middle school. It lived in here. And taking it out of this, I had to bring my own screwdriver to the place. It's like holding it for the first time. And these cards are different. They're not like smooth.
Yeah.
Like now, sometimes they're a little like papery.
How
and the
nervous
guy,
were you holding
dude,
that?
I was freaking out, sweating, dude, to the point where like I got it in the sleeve and I couldn't get them all the way in the. It's a larger plastic one called like a penny sleeve. It's not a penny sleeve. It's like a card saver. I had to ask him like for help because I'm like, dude, I'm struggling. I don't want to bend this thing. And they're super cool there. But it's on, and the guy actually looked at it and goes, "Is this on card?" And I'm like, no, this is signed from like, what is it, Skybox? And he's like, oh my gosh. Like I was like, I impressed the card shop guy. Like that's kind of cool.
Pretty dope. Pretty dope.
And then I have my 1984 U.S. baseball team McGuire. That used to be like 100 back in the day. If that comes back as a 10, that's over 1,000.
What? Really?
Yeah. It's not signed, but here's my concern. I was given this when it was popular. Like it was the card. Like, you know, if you look in Beckett, like that McGuire rookie card, because he was, you know, sauced up out of his skull. And nobody cared about gear. Blessed up. I don't know if I'm saying I don't know if it's authentic. I pulled it from a pack.
Oh, interesting.
But I don't know if that pack was fake. You know what I mean? I was given to me as a gift by like a family friend. So like, it seems very convenient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you got the card. So like, I don't know. And frankly, I don't care.
PSA sends it back a 0, not real.
Well, I do have and then I also my Shadowless Mewtwo from 99.
Ooh.
So it's a little scratched up. That if that comes back as a 6, I'm happy. I got to bring 5 cards.
Oh right.
But while I was there, someone came in. Again, this is at Patriot Place, which is next to Gillette, which is where the Patriots play. Comes in and says, "Hey, I got a question for you guys." Sits down with them at the couches. One guy's eating his lunch. Like, come on, dude, just read the room. He goes, "Hey, I sent my autograph to get graded, and it came back as non-authentic. What do you guys know about that?" And they're like, "Dude, I don't know what to tell you." And he's like, I know the equipment guy, Gillette, and he said I gave him my Super Bowl tickets, and he said that he gave them to Brady to sign, and now PSA is telling me it's not authentic. Like, what's like how? Like, what do you know? And they're like, they don't give us feedback. Obviously, they don't give feedback because then people would just send stuff in, and now they know how to forge better. Be like, oh yeah, well this didn't look right. Like, that's what kind of got me when he was asking for feedback. But they're like, well, let's look at yours and let's look at the like other autographs we have in the store. And he goes, the one way I know this is not real is because in your autograph it says the number 12. He's like, Brady doesn't sign with his number. He's like, it's not what he does. So that was an interesting conversation that I overheard while I was trying to not freak out.
Yikes.
And the guy, I mean, you can tell he's a little mad. I would be mad too if this story is true and Billy Bungus, his friend, just defaced his tickets,
Super Bowl tickets, and then lied that it was from the greatest quarterback in the ever.
Or 2, that Brady happened to sign them in a way that he doesn't typically. Or 3, that this guy is legit forging autographs and just struck out.
Yeah.
So that was I
love that story.
Made comments about that to the guys. They were just like, yeah, like, you know, it happens all the time. But also interestingly enough, heard 2 phone calls. Both answers were, we don't buy soccer cards. Get wrecked, soccer fans. Dang. And I also saw somebody purchase a $5,000 signed Messi jersey.
Ooh.
That was brought out, you know, with like the guy and like a security guy to the car.
Crazy. Was it a Miami one or was it
the blue
Argentina?
One? I think it's Argentina. Yeah.
The blue and white one?
Yeah. It was nice. I
bet.
Snuck a look, but yeah, card store, love it. So I will be having more on that in like, God, how long does it take? Like 45 business days.
That's crazy. I can't wait. I'm very excited.
It used to be more, remember like when like everything was shut down, people were like about cards, and it would take like months to the point where people would get their cards back, forget what they sent in, and they were players that weren't even relevant anymore.
Right.
Like just not in the league. Like, oh man, I got a rookie of like this guy, and they sent it, and the guy's he's just torn ACL or just
suspended for gambling.
like oh, there's one guy. There's there's a basketball player who got in like a lot of trouble, like off the court. And people are like opening his like PSA cards and being like, oh, like this guy's out of here.
Aaron Hernandez, rookies in shambles.
Jeez. But yeah, that's that was my weekend happening. Shout out Patriot Place. That place is awesome.
That place is pretty dope. When we went to the Revs game a few weeks ago, my daughter was like, "Dad, we could come to dinner here," and I was like, "Dude, it's like an hour away. We're not doing that." Absolutely not. But they did a good job because the old Sullivan Stadium before it was Foxborough was like a bleep show. Didn't even have bathrooms. That's how old it was. Didn't even have bathrooms.
What did you do?
They had like porta potties and stuff.
It's so embarrassing.
Dude, it's better than when Fenway had the trough.
Ah!
They did the pee trough. Yeah. And just you and like a line of dudes all peeing in the pee trough. Horrible. Horrible. There's some bars in Boston that still do that. It's 2024, my guys, and we're pee troughing. Like, ew.
just get plumbing.
Just peeing into like a PVC pipe. Disgusting. That's for 3 a.m. driving down Route 1 and you've had too many soda pops and you gotta go pee by the 99.
Just hire a plumber.
Just hire a plumber, kid. Just find a plumber, kid.
Yeah,
it's fine.
There's plenty of them.
Plenty of plumbers around.
Local 31892 is right down the road.
Ooh, shout out to the unions. Shout out unions.
Just hit up your local plumber.
I feel like it's kind of been a lull in gaming right now. I feel like that's going to change with college football coming.
Yeah.
At least for your boys.
I'm so excited.
I'm so pumped, dude. That 80, they did an 80-page document on the Dynasty deep dive. I read it twice and I was like, can I put this in my Goodreads app? Because this boy is chonky.
Oh my goodness.
Chonky filled goodness in that thing. And I'm really excited because like before we got on, I was playing NCAA 13 and just a random.
If you said 14, I was going to actually get mad.
No, I have ways to play 14 and 13.
Oh. Legally. Well, you own a copy. You can do whatever you want.
I own a copy of both. So yeah, I have them. No, yeah. I like 13's Road to Glory better than 14's. But man, really excited for what they have to show us over there. The crappy part is when it drops, I go on vacation the next day to Maine.
Get wrecked.
And I'm like,
why didn't you plan around it?
I blame my family, man.
Me too.
I'm a family man. I blame my family, man.
Man. Okay, Jay-Z.
Woo. We still here.
I'm excited. I know we talked about it last week. Like I'm not a college football guy. I am now. And they dropped something it was Tuesday, about Dynasty mode. How detailed it is. And like so a few like small details I've seen that I really like impressed me. Also not this is like I don't know where I saw it. I saw it from other creators, so I'm not crediting them because I don't remember. But if you change divisions in the past, it would still have your initial patch on your jersey, but now it'll actually switch the patch based on like what conference is that the right thing? Conference?
Yeah, jersey and field will have new conference logos.
Excellent.
Which is amazing.
Excellent.
Because what I like to do, I don't know if I've explained this. What I like to do in NCAA dynasties is create a relegation system. So what happens is you take something like the Big Ten and you take a smaller conference like the ACC, and you create the ACC, you make them the bum conference, right? And then you make the Big Ten the massive conference, and the winner of the ACC and the worst team in the Big Ten then switch places.
I love that.
And you do that with all your conferences. So you have like whatever, 10 conferences, you have 5 big boys, you have 5 little boys, and then you relegate and promote every off season. It keeps it fresh. It keeps it great. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I'm glad that customization is back.
That's awesome. I didn't know that you could even be that detailed. That's sick.
Yeah. One of the things I'm really excited about is Pride stickers are back.
On the
helmets. So for those that don't know, it's not like Pride Month stickers. It's Pride. So Pride stickers in college football is like when you do something good, or even high school football, because we did them in high school football. When you do something good, like catch a touchdown, sack, tackle, like so many tackles, you basically get a sticker that has like a logo on it, and you put it all over, you dot it all over your helmet. So you have all these stickers on your helmet. It looks awesome. And they're in NCAA and they are dynamic. So beginning of the season, you have none. Mid-season, your helmet could be covered. And it just adds to that layer, that depth we talked about last week, where like you go to a game against Penn State or Ohio State, and they have their, their pride stickers, and the thing is boom, and you got your student section, you have your Penn State or Michigan like one maize or Nittany Lion Blue section, and it's like, yeah, okay.
And I saw they fill in the way that they do. So like there was one, it was just the back to the middle.
Yeah.
First, one side, it was like the right side first. It's like, these guys are such nerds. Like they are, like, I know, like we talk about nerd, like I'm telling you, these guys are nerds for college football.
These dudes, some of these dudes were from Operation Sports, which is like a sports gaming forum that I was on in like 2005. And we talked stupidly in depth about games like college football and NHL. And I was like, early NHL PC, I would mod early NHL PC and release packs like the Boston Bruins pack, and it's accurate goalie pads, and like it's like Byron Defoe's pads, and you do 2X jerseys so you have better detail. And it's like, and now they're them and the teams that were behind NCAA 13 and 14 and some of the guys from Revamped, like they've had 3 years to make a game. I think one of the things I do hate is people are like, oh, Madden's not going to be good this year. And it's like, well, college football has also had 3 years to cook. Like, I think if you gave the Madden team, like, all right, we're going to drop Madden 25 midway through, like we're done with updates, start Madden 27 now.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'd have a better game than what you get for annual installs. But you can't do that.
It's a fair point. I don't know. It just looks cool. Like it's so detailed. Like they're going through like the high school recruiting system and how there's like, did they say 50 factors or like 25 to, I know it's a huge
there
range.
is like 18 factors.
Yeah,
so
like close to home, like, yeah, like
so it is very akin to NCAA 13. So NCAA 13, you had let's say 24 hours. And you got to allot time to meet with your recruit and talk to about whatever they're interested in. So really, you want your interest to match their interest. You want if they really care about playing for a championship contender, you better not be Army or Buffalo or Bowling Green, because you're not making a championship, right? But if their thing is close to home in your Boston College and they're from Salem, Mass, then like that's going to be an A, and that's what you pitch them. You pitch them your strengths. And the cool thing about it is, so they have normal recruiting where you'll be able to get high school and I think maybe JUCO, like junior college. I think I don't know if they actually mentioned it specifically. And that's like all during season. And then you go in your off season and you have the transfer portal. So new to college football, rules is if you commit to Florida and in the off season you say, I'm not playing a lot in Florida, I'm actually going to go to Auburn because I think I can be their starting quarterback. You can do that without penalty. It's basically like free agency now in college football. That's in this game. So either people that you have, recruits that you have recruited who signed somewhere else, they go into the transfer portal. They remember everything you told. They remember all the recruiting that you did for them and when they were in high school.
That's wild.
And like, this is all just built into the recruiting, and you can sway things. They have not only the old categories of like close to home and stuff, they now have brand power. So like if you're Ohio State or you're Michigan or you're Clemson, like that's brand power. Just to say like I play at Clemson. Right? So that's like awesome. It's crazy. I think it's going to be legitimately a great game. And one thing I have noticed, they have not talked one hair about is Ultimate Team. And it's in the game. We know
You
it's in
get
the
some
game.
perks through the bundle.
They have not. They have done the correct job of shying away from Ultimate Team 1,000,000%.
I can't imagine, as an Ultimate Team fan, I can't imagine Ultimate Team in college football being exciting. And I say that from a perspective of someone who doesn't watch college football. Now, the difference now is the actual players, more or less, who have signed, right? Their rights are actually in the game. So you can play. Actually, so okay, I'm trying to think. Like, college football historically has been a single player game. Like you play to play like the dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, and
is that a true statement?
NCAA 14 had Ultimate Team,
but they were unlicensed players, weren't they?
Yeah.
So okay, so the reason why they're probably shying away is because people don't. If you're a fan of this game, you were not a fan of Ultimate Team.
Correct. Like, you are an offline player. College. You're a dynasty player.
So that's
okay. What everyone's going to do. That
makes a little more sense to me. I think Ultimate Team isn't going to be the selling point. I think people are going to fall in love with it if you are a particular fan of a school or certain recruits. But I think the people who are going to buy this are going to be the people who
they're going to play it offline. Or online. Like, they'll do online dynasties or with their friends or whatever. But Team Builder, like, they're going to do that nerdy stuff. I can't wait to do Team Builder.
Is there downloadable rosters? There must be. If NHL has it, then this definitely will.
I don't know. They didn't really mention it. Actually,
I'm interested in.
I'm going to go ahead and say no. Because they won't want people to like create Arch Manning who opted out of the game. Because there's no import. There's no import into Madden this year. And you cannot edit. My belief is you cannot edit any of the NIL sign guys. And you cannot edit the names of any of your recruits.
Could I make an Arch Manning player then? I mean, there's nothing stopping me. It's offline.
I don't know if maybe they don't allow that name combination.
I don't obviously not for the money, but like, I think for his brand, it might have been. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I think it's silly he didn't do it. I just say that as a Joe Schmo who would have jumped at the chance.
Yeah, you want to give me $150 to use my
$600.
I let EA use my username for free.
True.
So what can I say? No, that's great. And yeah, we'll definitely be talking about it more. I
expect a lot. Expect a lot of content from us with college football because I will be doing a Road to Glory and possibly the Relegation Dynasty. But I'm definitely doing a Road to Glory with William B. Bungus, BC Highs, 6'1", 256 rocket-armed quarterback who runs like a dying locomotive and has the accuracy of a drunken cowboy.
I can't wait till he gets recruited to go to ITT Tech.
I can't wait, dude. He is the greatest one-star to come out of the state of Massachusetts.
He's gonna be playing flag football for the local YMCA.
Yep. Shout out to the Massachusetts Pirates. You're getting a heck of a quarterback.
Let's go.
You're getting a heck of a guy when he's done in college.
He's still gonna need 3 downs to get to the end zone.
You're damn right. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I already have ideas to throw stuff.
One thing that I loved out of football, again, my favorite football game of all time is Blitz the League, because I love the concept that you have, at least in Blitz the League 2, you're an Iron Man player.
Yeah.
I love, and NFL Street did that, Iron Man football.
Mm-hmm.
I would love if you could make a college football roster where basically you have to play both. I don't know if you could, but that's like my favorite idea, where you just have.
In Road to Glory for 13 and 14, they do have secondary positions. So you can be a quarterback and a strong safety. I don't know if new games have it. I don't know if any new games have it.
Blitz the League, it's just amazing. But
it is. NFL Street 2 is my favorite. One of my favorite football games of all time.
Oh, yeah.
NFL Street was such a banger. NBA Street, such a banger.
NBA Street was sick.
Don't know why they never made an NHL Street hockey game. Don't know.
I think I have that game.
What?
Street 1. I used to play that over the summers with my friends. I still use off the Heezy. Like when I'm playing, like when I'm like with my daughter and her friends, I'll throw a ball at their head and catch it. off their head, and I'll say off the heezy.
Nice.
Still viable move.
There are so many. I have so many hockey game ideas. Someone just has to come pick my brain. Nintendo.
Hey,
listen,
tape.
Nintendo, this is free. Make a Mario hockey game. Easy. Just
they have mini games of hockey in Mario Party.
All you need to do is take Mario Soccer and just make it into hockey. Use the power, like have power-ups, make it all that goofy garbage. Like it'll be awesome. I think it'd be awesome. Make it like 3v3, make the goalies like the same person. Do a 3v3 or 4v4. Like it'd be great. It'd be great. It's so easy.
Okay, I love the idea, but you know why they don't, right? It's because hockey is like not even the 20th popular sport.
Because no one outside of North America really cares.
There's one relevant Japanese hockey player story I want to tell, but on a different maybe a different environment. But
is
just
it Yamamoto, the kid from the Oilers?
No, it's about,
is it Hitsune
his name
Miku?
No, it's Taro from the Buffalo Sabres.
Taro? All right, pinned.
What's his last? Yeah, just keep an ear out for it. I want to find his last name.
Done. I'm gonna find his young gun.
Taro Sugimoto.
Sugimoto.
Yeah, put a pin in it.
I bet you like him because it has something to do with an anime.
It's not. I like him because it's ridiculous.
Great. I can't wait to hear it. Can't wait to hear it.
I don't want to tell you this story until
on the offline show.
Yeah. But yeah, any final thoughts for the folks?
No, I hope our Canadian friends had a very good Canada Day. I hope our American friends have a very good 4th of July or Hulai, depending on if it's a soft J. Yeah. Everyone be safe and don't light off fireworks because it's dumb. And my kid hates it.
But if you are going to, at least do it close enough where I can see from my front yard.
And preferably, if you're a digital only person when it comes to video games, hold those fireworks and light them off.
Save them until they get banned.
Light them off,
and you can enjoy
while
them.
you're holding them.
No, do not do that.
Do that.
No, not advice.
And then call your agent.
Don't be like JPP.
Oh, yeah. Time. Guys, if you light your hand on fire with fireworks, you'll make it to the NFL. Just like one Jean-Pierre Paul.
Oh, Jean-Pierre Paul. That's it. I should have known.
Jean-Pierre.
I have no final thoughts.
Yeah, really do not light your hand on fire, please.
Yeah, please
don't blow your hands off. They're quite important to your everyday living.
Not legal advice.
NLA. NAL. Not a lawyer.
I don't know. Go check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/3dads-in-a-console. I actually just got something that I want to be putting a video up on very soon. A game I've been looking forward to, so it's a not a court game.
I can't wait. Is it Grand Link Final Fantasy Rebirth 2?
I mean it. No, surprisingly, I can talk about it. It's not. I mean, it's out. It's called Until Then.
Oh, okay. That's a very not Japanese name.
Well, no, it's no
Mordecai Sessions Blue Grad Third.
No, it's from Polychroma Games, and it reminds me a lot of A Space for the Unbound. It is, definitely a element of supernatural going on with everyday life. I'm very excited to be able to play this game. So yeah, this could be my, I don't know. It has Game of the Year WABA vibes.
Let's go.
So exciting. It has the capacity. Also, YouTube or 3dadsconsole.com. Check out some of the articles, and if you check us out on Twitter at 3dadspod, we've had a few giveaways going, so make sure to find us there as well.
And just come for the sweet banter.
Yeah, and if you want to see some degenerate Bruins takes, follow Pez and Court because they got them.
Mine are degenerate. Courts are very nice.
We'll probably talk more about the Bruins next week. So if you're hoping for some hockey, you got to wait a little longer. Because we have to.
Canada Day is over. I was gonna say a dirty word, but I didn't.
I am concerned that by next week Jeremy Swayman is not signed, and I will be sad. However, there have been funny things to come out of this free agency. My favorite is Sergachev getting traded, but I think the morning of, someone tweeted out a Sergachev jersey and said, "Okay, guys, I'm finally gonna pull the trigger on
Finally
this."
bought it.
And then, like 4 hours later, he gets traded, and then he goes, "I'm going to commit a felony."
Dude, you want to know what's even worse than that? Vegas goaltender Logan Thompson
Oh no!
going to his own autograph session and getting traded like 2 hours before that.
He still did it.
Still did it like a champ. And he even joked with a guy as he signed his jersey. He said, "You're going to have to get a new one now."
I mean, what can you do? I mean, I hope he was talked about it, but that's just slap in the face. What can you do? More hockey next week. Talk to you all soon. Bye. We'll miss you. Say it back.